to you one and all. How's everybody doing? Hope you're all doing good. I've just been watching a video with our friend Robert Sepper, and he was talking about some teachings that are called the Fourth Way. And I wanted to go and have a look, because actually what's being taught here sounds like pretty much what I'm saying and what I've been saying, and how I've come to understand things here on Earth, how things work. I don't know how to control them, but I feel that I know how they work. I don't feel I can control them because there are certain aspects of my own being that I'm finding it difficult to keep under control. Things, as far as emotion's concerned, because emotion is where we need to actually gain the most control. So I went and had a look, and here it is. The Fourth Way and Esoteric Christianity is a system of ideas and practices designed to increase consciousness and develop understanding in the individual. It teaches a psychological methodology which is instruction on the process of metanoia, meaning transformation of mind. This path to enlightenment was introduced to the 20th century Western world by G.I. Gurdjieff. I can't pronounce that. I do apologize. I've completely murdered it, but Gurdjieff, who called it esoteric Christianity. The authors of this work, Rebecca and Theodore Nottingham, have translated and authored a number of works on the Fourth Way and spirituality, and present here some material on those subjects. So there's a lot to look at here, and I wanted to take a look at this. We'll go to lecture 1, Rebecca Nottingham. The object of all real esotericism is to connect man with the will of God. Quote by Maurice Nicoll. Part 1. Early in the 20th century, a Greek Armenian esoteric teacher walked out of Russia and a revolution with a small group of students. His name was Georgy Ivanovich Gurdjieff. Eventually, he made his way to France and established a teaching center he called the Institute for the Harmonious Development of Man. There, Gurdjieff taught a developmental system on personal transformation that he called the Fourth Way. In this, what he managed to do was make metaphysical, spiritual instruction accessible to the rational scientific mind, uniting spiritual teaching from the East with the science of the West. The value of this particular accomplishment is immeasurable. Without Gurdjieff, the practical path of enlightenment, called the work, may not have reached into the 20th century Western world. His formulation of this esoteric teaching made it available to the general population, where previously it was only found in small exclusive groups few ever heard of. There is endless gossip about the very enigmatic Mr. Gurdjieff, about his outrageous behavior, about his intentions and moral character, about his sources. However, there is still much more debate about the system he called the Fourth Way. There seems no end to the constant need to argue or prove the validity of the Fourth Way by way of linking it to esteemed or mysterious sources. More importantly, there seems to be no clear understanding of the subtle, transformational psychological practices of the work, which is the heart and substance of the teaching. Therefore, there are constant questions about how to practice it, or why do it at all, or what the aim and result is. Gossip and debate will lead you nowhere in your search for meaning and truth in the Fourth Way. Slander is as easy as adultery. Only experiential understanding and verification of this teaching throughout the practice of it can impart its significance. Once you have the kind of verification that comes from practice, you cannot misunderstand the aim of it. And once you understand the aim and the objective truth found there, you will know how valuable Gurdjieff's contribution was. In the light of it, gossip, personality characteristics, and debating the original sources are all irrelevant. I just want to point out at this right now that I kind of have this very, very strong feeling that what this Gurdjieff is going to say will validate the conclusions that I've reached myself through my own experience. And some of the things that I've already heard that he's said, and also people like Alan Watts, things that Alan Watts has said, kind of confirm that more to me, that is exactly what I'm going to find here. I don't know about you. What we have been given in the fourth way psychological teaching called the work is a practical, verifiable instruction of the self-development possible for a human being, the process for the real transformation of human consciousness. It teaches self-generated self-transcendence, evolution. It is direction on how to grow in consciousness by giving you a new perspective and awakened conscience. The work gives you a chance to choose to become real. And this is one of the things that I'm saying, is that until you realize certain things, until your perception grows and expands and allows you to be able to perceive certain things, you're not entirely real. You're not a real human being until you are a human, or until you are, being human. That not human is not what they tell us it is. We've been given this whole idea of evolution and a human race and the food chain and our place in the food chain, and that's all completely false. There is no place for us in the food chain because we're not actually part of this world. We're here to take care of it. In my opinion, we're here to take care of it. We're able to actually exist on the energy that's in the ether. We don't need this food. This is something that they've tricked us into. That's something that, that's open for massive debate. Lecture 2, Introduction. These lectures are intended to give you an understanding of the fourth way system, which is an esoteric teaching about the inner development possible for human beings. You will learn about the relationship between Christian esotericism and the fourth way. You will hear instruction about the ideas, the practices and the exercises, the terminology, the process and aim, the requirements and result of becoming a student in the fourth way. At the end of these lectures, you should clearly know what the fourth way is and whether it is the path you wish to follow. Esoteric teaching is a psychological system, but it differs from today's version of psychology. Modern scientific psychology studies man as it finds him, or as it supposes him to be. The psychology of esotericism studies man from the point of view of his possible evolution. This perspective on psychology is the one being used in these talks, the point of view of man's possible evolution. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you would be interested, I would very much like to read this. I'm going to read this, but I can make it into like I can do it as a live stream, and we can have a live reading. I can basically we can read it together, which will give an opportunity for discussion and comments and such like, but which would obviously mean that it would take longer to get through the book. But I quite like the idea of reading it together, or I could actually make a video. So if you've made it this far, let me know in the comments if you want me to do a live where I read it in a live, or if you'd like me to make a video, and I'll make a video where we read the book basically. So turn it into an audio book. I might get done for copyright, but like I give a fuck. Baby.